How you guys how you guys feeling? And day 4, you made it more than halfway. Celebrate yourself for showing up, playing full out, getting yourself accountable, being resourceful with your time. So how was yesterday for you all? How great was it hearing from Jules? Oh, she's so inspiring. She's like one of those people who just like continues to go beyond her comfort zone because she understands that everything she wants is just on the other side of her comfort zone. And by the way, none of us are any different. You guys are no different. So I always love to talk to her because even as one of my students, she inspires me with how she shows up. So I'm really glad that grateful to her that she was able to show up and yesterday and share some of her experience and wisdom with you guys. So who practiced your sirening and your opposition tools yesterday? Tell me in the chat. Who played with that idea of like siren connective tissue, anchor and sail moving away from each other, opposition, opposition, opposition. Awesome. Good. Darlene did. Celeste did. Jim did. Joseph, way to go. So glad you guys took the time to see if you can embody some of the things that we were doing yesterday in a more connected way. What about your thought exercise? So who did the thought exercise? Tell me in the chat. Who did it? Did you guys get a glimpse into why you sing the way you do? Isn't it so interesting when you start to understand the what's going on and the motivation? And like, was anybody surprised by what actually came up? Those of you who did it. And by the way, if you didn't do it, do it. Like I say this all the time to the singers who are in the intensive program. Like, I don't give you guys this stuff to do for my health. I give this to you because it is what facilitates the results that you want to see, the transformation and the shifts that you want to see. So was anybody surprised by what came up? Tell me in the chat if you started to get into the thought exercise and you're like, didn't realize I was thinking that way. Didn't realize that that was going on up there. Wow, that thing that happened 25 years ago, that is still, wow. Like, it's super interested. Oh yeah, I see Tyvee saying how clear it was that it came up. And some of you are like, nope, no surprise. Like, I totally know what my stuff is. But sometimes it's interesting to see you mirrored back in a new fashion. And we're going to talk more about this as we get into what we're doing today. Who did their meditation today? Let me see in the chat. Who did it today? Celebrate yourself. Claim it. Own it. You did your meditation today. Let me see. Melissa did it. Joseph did it. Darlene did it. Lavette did it. Nice. Who else? Jim, exploring a lot lately. Trusting is big. Yes. Awesome. Katerina. Yes. Who is 4 for 4 on your meditations? Who's done it 4 days in a row? Celebrate it. Put it in the chat. 4. Who did it? Let's see. Jim, nice. Yes, Tyvee. You guys noticing the same names keep coming up? If your name is not coming up, if you're not accountable to the things that we're doing, there's no blame and shame. There's no judgment for me, but it is something to notice. Why am I not doing it? Why am I willing to show up each day to the class, but why am I not doing the things that would actually move the needle in between the classes? And again, there's no make wrong, there's no make bad. It's just to notice, what's my resistance there? Why did I not do the thought exercise? Why did I not prioritize the meditation? Because that gives you data that you can then understand and say, maybe I need to start showing up a little differently if I want to get some different results. And why is it hard for me to XYZ do the meditation? Or why is it hard for me to look at some of these things in the thought exercise? Because unless we understand, we're not going to be able to change, right? You got like awareness comes first. Awareness, acceptance, then action. Like that's the order, right? So if you haven't been doing it, maybe get some clarity without blame and shame as to why, and then invite yourself to make a different choice. All right. So celebrating all of you who've done the meditation today, who've done it all 4 days. If you haven't done it at all, great. Tomorrow's a new day. Make a different choice tomorrow and start tomorrow. Don't worry about what happened before. Make a different choice tomorrow. Celebrating Tyvee on her enrollment into the intensive training program. Tyvee, I got you. I'm very excited to work with you. So celebrating you for making the commitment for the results that you want to see, and so grateful that we get to be the ones who guide you into that. So woohoo! Excited to get started, and we'll have an onboarding call soon. Okay, so we have a lot to get to today. Just a reminder of some basic housekeeping. Remember, save your questions, train first. We'll answer your questions later. Reminder, this is the safe space. Maintain this value for all who are in here. Those who sing, those who coach, we encourage vulnerability, bravery. So no tolerance, zero tolerance policy for any criticism, judgment, meanness in the chat. Make sure that if you do want to sing, that you have your original sound turned to on, which I'm going to do right now because mine was off. There we go. Okay, original sound turned to on. And let's get to work. Okay, so today I'm going to give you some tools on what I call the fast track from process to performance. The tools to help you get out of your own way, because those are the things that put the speed bumps on, right? The tools to get out of your own way, to really bring it like you have never had before, to tap into that impact, no matter what the circumstances are. And so the thing that catalyzes your technique, the thing that connects you to your voice, your unique sound, the thing that fast tracks you to your potential so that you can go out there and perform and record and win auditions and make money and do all the things you want, is mindful integration. Okay, mindful integration. This is where you start to understand the ways that you're getting in your own way. So that, and by the way, these are ways in which probably you don't even realize. And you learn how to get out of your own way when you perform, get out of your head, trust your technique, trust your body, and have the tools for the biggest impact that can get you there every single time. So the first concept for mindful integration, number one, is ask more powerful questions. Write that down. Ask more powerful questions. We've got to create space for the body to integrate what's possible. And most of you, whether you realize it or not, you sing from a very narrow, contracted, energetic space that has been created from asking very disempowering questions and focusing on what isn't possible, what hasn't been possible. So these very disempowering questions, things like, what if I'm not as good as I think I am? Why would anyone pay me that much to sing? That one is Amy DeLuca's. Amy, who you're going to hear from on Sunday, and who some of you know because she's been your concierge for this workshop. Why would anybody pay me that much to sing? And Amy now makes the same amount of money per month that she did when she had her corporate job singing full time, right, Amy? Like that one, that was like, why would anybody pay me that much? But that's a very disempowering question. Other questions: what if I botch the high note? What if it doesn't work out? What if I invest in a producer, training, traveling to an audition, whatever, and it doesn't work? How can I compete with all these other singers who are younger than me, prettier than me, more experienced than me, fill in the blank? So disempowering, you guys. But here's what I know to be true, like I know. Energy flows where attention goes. Get that? Energy flows where attention goes. And since we know that singing is an energy game, right? We were talking all about that in the last few days. Then in asking these kinds of very disempowering questions, what you are doing is you are feeding the contracted energetic state that sabotages your sound, the impact and the outcome that you really want and that you would otherwise be capable of. So learning to ask better questions that create the emotional state and the response in your body to that allows your best sound and your best performance to come forth in ways that you have not tapped into or experienced before. So you heard me ask many better questions these last few days when I've been coaching our volunteers this week. Examples of these more powerful questions, like when I asked Marilyn yesterday, how would you do this if you didn't give a crap? That's a much more empowering question. How would you do this if there was no such thing as fail? How would you do this if you didn't have to be perfect? What if you do get it right? What if I do succeed? What if I get on stage and I knock it out of the park? Most of you are like, well, what if I get on stage and it doesn't come out the way I want? What if I get on stage and I get up and sing and I embarrass myself, right? No, the version of this, what if I do succeed? What if I am exactly the right person to be on this stage in this opportunity right now? Because see, now what you're doing is you're focusing, remember, energy goes where attention flows. You're focusing your attention on what is possible instead of focusing your energy on the disempowering thought, the thought that contracts you, on what you don't think is possible. And guys, I will share with you, in my experience, in any given situation, there are multiple truths. And some people might want to argue with me that and say, nope, there's only ever one truth. That's not been my experience. My experience is there are multiple truths. And, so is it true that you might not get it right? Maybe, yeah, that's a possibility. Is it also true that you might get it right? Yeah, that's also a possibility. They're both true, right? Is it possible that I might get on stage and that I have everything I need to make the best sound that's possible? Yeah, that's true. Is it also true that I still need to work on some things in my technique that aren't quite showing up for me yet? Yeah, maybe that's also true. Both things are true. However, if energy goes where attention flows, then you get to pick, and you need to pick the truth that serves what you want, because that's where your energy is going to go if that's where you're paying attention. So they both might be true, but they both do not serve me. And so I want to put my energy on the things I want to put my attention on the things that serve the energy that I want to be in. So if I'm asking very disempowering questions, what if I don't get this right? How can I compete with all these singers who are younger than me, better than me, more experienced, whatever? What if I take this risk and I fall on my face? All I'm doing is feeding my energy into the thing that I don't want, and I will just end up creating more of that, because that is the energy that I am in and cultivating, okay? But when we ask more powerful questions and we focus on our attention on the questions that serve to keep us in possibility, what if I'm the exact person who needs to be on this stage right now? What if I do succeed? Now there's space for possibility that your body and your energy are going to respond to. So that is concept number 1 for today, which is learn to ask better questions. And this is another reason why the meditations are so important, because what they do is they help you to learn how to witness your thoughts. It's very hard to see if you're asking disempowering questions, if you're just on autopilot and you're not able to witness your thoughts, okay? So that's why these things are so important in terms of setting that foundation for the mindset you want. So learn to ask better questions. The second concept that I want you to understand today is concept number 2, which is annihilate your excuses. This is another thing that gets you in your own way when you get up to perform. So what are the excuses that keep you playing small, that keep you continually hitting that same ceiling in your singing experience, your singing journey, your singing career? And what are the things that you use to justify your circumstance, why you are where you are with your singing and your career? We've got to identify them. So here are some of the top excuses that I hear all the time from seasoned singers, pro singers, singers who've been doing this a long time. These are the top excuses. And so if I say an excuse that you're like, oh yeah, I tell myself that, like, go ahead and put it in the chat, okay? So here are some. I'm too old. How many of you have that? I'm too old. I'm not thin enough. I'm not edgy enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm too edgy. I don't sound like insert the flavor of the month here, Billie Eilish, Kristen Chenoweth, Leah Michelle, whoever, right? I don't sound like that. I don't have enough time, job, kids, etc. Like, how many of you have that? I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money for the things that I need to get to the next level. How many of you have that excuse? I don't have enough money. And like, before you guys, start to say, well, Arden, that's just real. That's not an excuse. I'm calling poo-poo BS on that. You guys all know who Shania Twain is. This is my favorite example here. Shania Twain, famous country star, legendary country star. I don't know if you know her story, but she's the oldest of a few younger siblings. I think maybe 3 younger siblings, something like that. And her parents, both of them, were killed in a car accident when she was like 17, 18, something like that. And she was solely responsible for raising these kids, putting food on the table, making sure they had a place to live. At a certain point, they were living out of their car. And yet, somehow, Shania Twain managed to get what she needed, do what she needed to have the career that she wanted. So I don't have enough money, like tell that to Shania Twain, okay? And I'm not being hard on you guys because I want to like make you feel bad. I want to empower you out of your excuses to understand that there's always a way for the committed. And so these excuses, I am too old, I don't have enough time, I don't sound like this, I don't look like that. And there are many more, by the way. Like, what are your excuses? Start to examine your excuses lovingly, compassionately, without judgment, just to be like, oh, yep, I do that. So, what are your excuses? What is the story that you tell yourself to justify why you are where you are with your voice and your singing career? And put it in the chat. So, guys, this is where like we get real. Okay? Because it's one thing to think it in your head. It's another thing to put it out there to your trusted fellows, because now you're going to like, it's going to be seen and you're sharing it with the universe and you're sharing it energetically, which means that you're not hiding it anymore. And it makes it a lot easier to start to look and do something about it. So what are your excuses that you tell yourself to justify why you are where you are? And like I said, this is the safe space, guys. Out yourself. Type it into the chat. Because for mindful integration to work, we have to allow ourselves to truly see what is, and to allow ourselves to see with compassion the ways that we are holding ourselves back and our potential back, and therefore holding our impact back. So what are your excuses? I see you guys saying in the chat, not talented enough, weakness, fatigue, don't sound good enough. If I put my money in, I would be broke. If it's not supposed to be for me, I would shine too bright. Yes. Too stiff to be free. Yes, you guys, good. Like, this is so important to just allow yourself to see. And it's like, oh, I don't look like the stereotype. I don't sound like the stereotype. That could have been a huge one for Nyla, one of our awesome grads who you're going to hear from and meet later today. I'm too old. That could have been a huge one for Amy. I don't know if you guys know this because she looks fabulous, but Amy's a grandma, just so you know. Okay? Like, these are, if this had happened, if these excuses had gotten in the way, Nyla wouldn't be doing what she's doing today, because she was in the original cast of Waitress on Broadway. Like, and so there's no way that Amy would have gone from a corporate job to making a full-time living as a singer the way she is now if she did not have a really powerful reframe for I'm too old. Because otherwise, at her age, that excuse could have stopped her. And she would have felt completely justified, by the way, and she would have missed out on everything that she's doing now. So we need to reframe our excuses. And the way we do that is by choosing more powerful beliefs. So that's concept number 3 for today. Choose your global beliefs. So in my 20 some odd years of saving singers' voices, saving singers' careers, I have found that there's really like 4 global beliefs that every singer must own to access 100% of their potential, be bulletproof in the face of challenge, stand out from the competition, and withstand the inevitable ups and downs that you will experience, guys. It's inevitable, the ups and downs of this creative journey, and withstand them so you don't give up before you succeed. So I want to share with you what I've learned these 4 global beliefs are to be able to get out of your own way and really tap into all of that potential that's within you. The first belief is singing is what I do. It's not who I am. And that can be a hard one for a lot of people. It's like, no, I'm a singer. Like, if I'm not a singer, who am I? No, singing is what you do. It is not who you are. It's about detaching your worth from your voice and your singing. I am enough, regardless of if I am singing or not singing, whether I sing well or don't sing well. It's that idea of detaching the worth from your singing so that you're able to take more inspired risks, be willing to fail. All the things become a hell of a lot harder if the singing is who you are instead of what you do. Because then if you don't get the outcomes you want, it becomes a reflection on your intrinsic worth. And then it becomes a lot harder and you go into push and force, or you sit down and you back away. Either way, you don't get what you want. So this is the first belief. Singing is what I do. It is not who I am. The next global belief is there is no failure, only opportunity. If I am not failing, guys, I am not learning. And if I'm not learning, how am I going to succeed? It's like the example I love to give is, you guys know the story about Thomas Edison and the 99 ways not to build a light bulb? So he was interviewed, Thomas Edison was interviewed by a news reporter who was like, I heard you made 99 prototypes, 99 failed prototypes of the light bulb before this one that worked. Like, how did you withstand all that failure? And Thomas Edison goes, that wasn't a failure. That was 99 ways I learned not to build a light bulb. That is a completely different mindset that allowed him to keep iterating, keep exploring, be curious, and keep going and not give up before he got the result that he wanted. So that mindset, that global belief, there is no failure, only opportunity. Because guys, if you're too afraid to fail, you will always play it safe in your body, in your mind, and that is not how you get a great performance that blows us away. Everything that you want, like I said before, is just on the other side of your comfort zone. Is it comfortable to fail? Not the beginning. But if you believe that there is no fail, it's just opportunity, then come on in, right? Welcome that failure. Go beyond the comfort zone. Guys, your challenges, your failures, that resistance, that is life tapping you on the shoulder going, hey, I know you want to get out of the ensemble and book that equity lead. Hey, I know that you want to be able to quit that day job and do this full time. I know that, but you got to fix this and this and this for that to happen. You got to fix this thing first for that to happen. So the faster that you fail, the faster you get that data and the faster you can fix that thing and move forward, the better. So it's gratitude for your challenges. It is the universe showing you exactly what you get to up level to have what you want. And take those inspired risks and then go for it. Because here's what I know. You're going to be uncomfortable either way. You're going to be uncomfortable staying small, staying stuck in regret, or you're going to be uncomfortable taking risks and failing forward. So if you're going to be uncomfortable either way, you might as well be uncomfortable getting what you want. Like, get that, guys. You're going to be uncomfortable either way, so you might as well be uncomfortable getting what you want. And now here is one of the things that helps you with that, which is our third global belief, which is, and I was talking a little bit about this yesterday, go to the data, not the drama. I was talking about this to Nathaniel on the first day. Your mind wants to create drama. It wants to go to the drama, and that takes up space energetically. You gotta learn how to see what is without assigning meaning to it. You botched an audition? Okay, that's data. Let's look at the data. Let's not make meaning out of it. Okay, let's look at the data. What are 4 things I did well at that audition? Okay, what's one thing that I can optimize for next time? One thing. Because your mind is going to want to go to all the things that it thinks that you are less than and not good enough and didn't work. That is too overwhelming. Okay, what are 4 things I did well? Because we want to continue to do those things. So we got to identify what they are so we can keep doing them for next time. What is one thing I want to optimize between now and the next time I do the next audition? Instead, that's data. Instead of going to the drama, which is making the botched audition mean something intrinsic about you, your worth, your future, that shuts you down. Then you're not empowered to take that next indicated step that will get you closer on the path to your target. So remember, these are the beliefs that I have learned that help singers get out of their own way. Go to the data, not the drama. Look at what is, don't make meaning out of it. Your mind wants to make the meaning, and that takes you down what I call the vortex of doom. And that is not a constructive place to be. It shuts you down. And then the last belief that I've noticed, 4th belief of these global beliefs, is I get to take up time and space. So, this is one of my personal beliefs that I use all the time, especially when I'm performing. I have this little mantra, which I love to tell our singers, which is, this is my house. This is my stage. This is my time. I am worth taking up time and space. I get to take up time and space. You guys, the world has all these other unique superstars. The world has a Pavarotti. The world has a Beyonce. The world has, a Lin-Manuel Miranda. What they don't have is you. So this is your house. This is your stage. You get to take up time and space. Now, with these global beliefs, guys, what they do is they create energetic space in possibility where mind and body can integrate and work together for everything that you want to create both on stage and off, because you have empowered your awareness to run the show instead of the inner critic mind that just wants to take you down because it is so terrified because it can't predict the future. It has empowered you to stay in the moment of your awareness instead of shaming yourself about the past or tripping out on the future. So I have some fun tools. I have one specifically that I want to bring you today. It's a really fun tool that incorporates all these ideas. And it's what I call energy exploration cards. And we're going to use some of them right now in some live coaching. So I know I had left off yesterday by saying, Becca, remind me that you raised your hand and we didn't get to you. So Becca, if you're down, I'd love to start with you today to play around with some of these energy exploration cards. Are you cool? Are you down with that? If you are, go ahead and unmute.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool. So, is there a piece of something, a verse of something, a chorus of something that we can play with?
Yeah, let me think. I'm in a show right now and
Okay.
I'm singing Greenfinch and Linnet Bird. Doesn't really have a chorus, but it's
Well, it
uh,
starts. It starts with the chorus. We can just start at the
yeah,
top.
okay, I'll do
Yeah.
that. And I need to set up so I can stand because I'm sitting right now.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and stand. And while you're doing that, so I'm going to ask you: did you do your thought exercise last night?
Yeah, I did. I've been in the middle of dress rehearsals, but I did it briefly. So the thought
Good.
exercise I did was with like we're doing a Sondheim review
Mhm.
and did, we've been doing Into the Woods,
Okay.
and that has some really weird jump, like just high, it goes from
Are
you know
you are you singing Cinderella from that, or what are you singing from that?
no, we're just doing like they have some solos within that, but it's just the finale.
Oh, the da 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 da
Hmm.
da da
Hmm.
da da. Okay.
Hmm.
So, do you want to play with Greenfinch or do you want to play with that?
We could do Into the Woods. It's actually probably harder for me just because I haven't practiced as much,
Okay.
and yeah, it's got all the
Okay.
jumps. And so
Okay.
and it's fast. And so I'm always like clench. That's what I noticed. If you want me to read my little things that I noticed about that.
Yeah, just give us the nutshell. What was the what did you
Um,
notice from, the motivations that you were noticing?
so when I was noticing that, I noticed that I tend you're talking about expanding like the trunk and the chest and things while you are singing instead of contracting, right? And so I've noticed that I brace myself when I'm trying to jump to those top notes.
Yeah.
I'm like, I
Okay.
gotta sing, I gotta hit the note really fast. And because it's really speedy and really fast, I feel like it's if I'm doing like a longer passage and I can hold out the notes, it's easier for me to kind of, oh, I'm going to prep my body and I have time to breathe. But when it's really wordy, really text heavy, it's like my brain is so working so hard to remember the words that I get really overwhelmed and then I lose all my technique and I'm just like screeching it out because I,
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
And so, as you did the thought exercise to kind of uncover, because in truth, Becca, it's the same technique for
Hmm.
the long held legato passages that it is for that. But
Right.
your mind, to speak of meaning, right? We were talking about making meaning out of things. Your
Hmm.
mind is making a different meaning out of the shorter, wordier passages that
Mm-hmm.
then, like you said, you end up bracing yourself. So what did you discover in the thought exercise about like where that thinking might come from?
Um, well, I think that I struggle a lot with memorization, so that's one of the things. It's like I
Okay.
don't want to embarrass myself by forgetting my words.
Okay.
You know, I've
There we
I've
go.
done it a lot of times and it feels humiliating to me.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
stopping the piano and everyone looks at you and you're like, oh.
Okay.
So
So
hard.
tell me more about when you've struggled with words. Are these things that when you're practicing it on your own and you're doing your rehearsals, you get the words, but then in performance you lose it, or is it even hard in rehearsal you're not getting it?
Um, I think it's just like the performative nature. It's like when
Okay.
I get nervous and when I'm anxious, my brain goes into that fight or flight, and then I
Yeah.
can't cognitively remember stuff. And I'm like,
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So first of all, remember how we talked about asking better questions. So I'm going to ask you, do you really have a problem with memorization?
probably not. I
No.
have a problem with anxiety.
Yeah. Okay. But
Yeah.
like this is important because if
Yeah.
she keeps telling herself this story that
Yeah.
I'm not good at memorization, I struggle with memorization, I have a problem with memorization, you're going to create that because you're going to create even more anxiety. But the problem is not the memorization. You memorize things just fine. Okay. It's the story around what happens when it counts and a story around embarrassment, right?
Hmm.
So what is the story that your mind is telling you about that?
Sorry, my daughter just came in here.
That's okay.
I'm gonna pass her off to my husband. Just give me okay, honey.
That's okay. I'm a mom. I totally get it. Mine is
Yeah.
11, but she's like upstairs because school doesn't start until next week. So,
Yeah.
so what is the story that your mind is telling you about embarrassment? Is there a trauma there? Is there an embarrassing moment you keep reliving, maybe?
Uh, yeah, probably a lot. I think with memorization, I did do a solo one time and I completely like blanked very hard and that was really embarrassing for me. Like I just was I like full stop, couldn't remember a single word, had to like go look at the words on the piano to just get my brain back into the place of remembering and then I could restart, but that was very humiliating for me.
Okay. Yeah. And how long ago was that?
Oh, it was a while. It's been a long time. Like
Okay.
I was probably like a teenager. I think as
Yeah.
a teen.
But isn't it funny how like here she is, probably a decade or more later.
Yeah.
You're a mom now, you're a wife, and you're
Yeah.
still carrying around that story and that trauma. And it's like, you guys, we have these like I visualize them like a giant like, like the bag that we're like carrying, of these things that weigh us down because we're
Hmm.
carrying them from 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And here's what I know, which is that if you can, not just you, all of us, like if we continue to take our yesterday into our today, our tomorrow is going to look exactly like yesterday. I'm going to
Hmm.
say that again because I want you guys to like really get that. If we continue to take our yesterday into our today, our tomorrow is going to look exactly like yesterday. So it's not about memorization, and I think you know that. Like you can memorize things just
Yeah.
fine. But it's the oh deer in the headlights, oh my God, that happens in performance that now then just creates this negative feedback loop. And like you said, then it just goes away. Okay. So I'm curious, like with this into the woods that you're doing right now, what happens in the moment, like when you're thinking about it, because you have this, when does the next performance?
Tonight's our first
Okay.
our opening. Hmm.
Okay, so you have, okay, great, opening, even more pressure. Yes, good,
Yeah.
so good that we're doing this now. Okay, and so like if you got real honest with yourself and you're willing to just kind of like share what is the, if you had to say, what are the disempowering questions that are going on in your mind right now?
um well, you talked about like the what ifs of failing, and I think that's a big like what if I forget my words? What if
Okay, so
I
tell me, yeah, what are those? Let's write it, let's get them. What if I forget my words?
um
What if what are they?
What if I yeah, like what if I'm too tired and I just am exhausted on stage and can't remember things, can't
Yes.
or what if I'm like kind of pitchy? I'm one of a few high sopranos, so
Okay,
and
so we have
everybody
what if
sings.
I forget my words? What if
Yeah.
I'm too tired? What if I'm pitchy? Okay,
Hmm.
what if you're not too tired? What if you show up and the fun of being backstage and the excitement of a show and the audience in a theater and you have, a coffee? What if I'm not too tired?
Hmm.
What if my words show up exactly the way they need to because I'm prepared? What if I'm not pitchy because I've been in a great workshop and I got some new tools and I have some new things that I'm going to try to
Yeah.
play with, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but that's not where the mind wants to go. It wants
Right.
to go to all that other shit that you just want to carry around with you because what does it do? It reinforces the old story that that's the way it was, that's the way it's always going to be because of all these things that you're what ifing, okay? But you have just as much a shot as what if I show up and I have all the energy that I need for this show? What if I don't forget the words? We don't tend to go that direction.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to, you guys, you want to learn how to what if the what ifs. You want to learn how to like, yeah, but the yeah, buts. Because you're going to go, well, what if I don't forget my words? And your brain is going to go on and go, yeah, but,
Hmm.
like, do you find that your brain goes to the yeah, but?
Oh, absolutely, all the time. But I think it was really neat last night doing, so I had a big difference between my first dress and second. My second dress was yesterday, and I've been telling Siri about my auditions and stuff, or my not my auditions, my dress rehearsals, because she's been following up with me, and like implementing a lot of these techniques has been really neat. um and like watching me, because it's the anxiety that's really like defeating, like causing the issues. And so being in these performance situations is like where I need that practice the most, like. And so I've been like trying to implement it while under these stressful situations of me going in front of people. And
Yeah.
so like the night before I did have some anxiety, like a lot around like the mics and people not hearing me and different things. And then yesterday went so much better for me because of like the mindset shift stuff that I was doing, because I was like doing exactly what you were talking about, like what if I just give myself space to breathe, and like what if I just I just take my time, it's okay for me to breathe, the piano's going to follow me, if I mess up it's okay, like. And I was just trying super hard to take the pressure off of myself, and my solo went so much better the second day because of that. Like it just felt
That's
like a lot more
amazing.
freedom. And it really didn't even matter that much to me if like the piano was messing up or if I was messing up or whatever, because I was like, I'm doing this for fun. I like to sing because it's fun. And that was a really big thing for me because singing hasn't been fun for a while.
Yeah. And honestly, if it's not, then are you empowered to do the hard things to go beyond the
Yeah.
comfort zone to get to that next level?
Yeah.
No. And then we stay where we are. And then
Right.
it's
It
really
really
not fun.
traps you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, so I'm gonna employ some energy exploration cards for you to give
Okay.
you just like another layer of freedom and letting go from the anxiety and from the mishigas going on in your head. Okay,
Hmm.
so you guys will see when you get the homework link for tonight, you're going to see these energy exploration cards, and they're little mantras, and I'm going to pick one for you now. Okay, so the one
Hmm.
that I'm going to pick for you now is I get to be perfectly imperfect,
Okay.
because what I hear is perfectionism, that
Uh-huh.
this has to be a certain way and it has to sound like this and look like this and be like this, right? And so you're looking at like a recovered perfectionist here. So girlfriend, I got you. Like I know what this is, okay?
Yeah.
And it's really hard to tell a perfectionist to stop like having that value as the highest value, okay? So
Uh-huh.
we're just going to use it for good instead of evil. And you get to be perfect. But you get to be perfect at being imperfect. Okay. So I get to be perfectly imperfect. All right.
Uh-huh.
So if you want to do the Into the Woods or if you want to do the Sweeney Todd, either one,
Mm.
but let's do it with your mantra here is how would I do this if I get to be perfectly imperfect? I don't know. Let's find out.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I think I'll do green French because I'm not feeling brave enough to scream at you guys for Into the Woods.
Okay. Well, and just because you said that, now you have to do Into the Woods.
No. Okay. All right. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Because guess what? You get to be perfectly imperfect.
Oh
You
no.
get to do that. Because it's not about like you not caring what we think. He said, I'm not going to scream at you guys. It's not about us. It's about you. Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay. Okay.
let's
All right.
experiment with that.
Let's see.
Do you need a pitch?
Yes, and I need to figure out in what part of the rolling train I want to start with that song. Okay, so Into the Woods. I think they start. I can't even remember what note. See, now I'm already panicking. The panic has already started.
But guess what? If you get to be perfectly imperfect, if
Yeah.
you choose a key that's not quite right, does it matter?
Oh, I no, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
I mean, other than I wouldn't be able to sing very high notes, but that's okay. Okay, so let's see. Here we go. Into the woods you go again. We have to every now and then. Into the woods, no
To
telling
tell a
when.
friend.
To tell a
Okay.
friend.
Yeah, I've done this role. I've done the witch, so I know this. I'll just give it to you if you don't have it. Okay. So here's what I want. Come back to your body. Come back to your
Okay.
body. Because right now you're all up here. I can tell because your energy is like all up here. So come
Yeah.
back to your body.
Okay.
And I want you to feel your feet. I want you to press your toes into the floor for a second. Okay. Feel your feet.
Mm-hmm.
Ground your energy. Okay. Imagine like you are a tree
Okay.
and your body is the trunk of a tree. And the trunk of a tree is however tall you are, 5 foot, whatever, but you have roots. And the roots go through your feet all the way down into the earth. And the roots of this tree go way further down than this trunk that's 5 feet above the ground. The roots go hundreds of feet into the ground, okay? So, in your exploration and experimentation of being perfectly imperfect, I want you to perfectly imperfect with exploration into that grounded energy. Into the woods, I don't care how I have to go. The time is now. Whatever it is. That's
Mm-hmm.
later on, but you get it. Like
Okay.
down. Find your roots. Okay?
Okay.
Try.
Okay. Let me just remember the first phrase. I think it's you have to go is how it goes first, though. All right. Into the woods you have to go. See, it's gone. It's just gone.
It's
Into
okay.
the woods you have to go. Be ready for your journey into the woods, but not too fast, or what you wish you lose at last. Into the woods. It's like completely
Go to
wrong.
the part that into the woods, and out of the woods. Get to the. I'm gonna. Yes.
The woods and up the woods.
Okay.
And happily
Okay. So let's do it again. Okay, we're gonna do it again. And right now, I don't care whether you lose the words or not. I'm not focusing on the words. What
okay.
I'm focusing on is you being in the present moment with your body and grounding your energy. When we're grasping for something because we're not sure it's going to be there, it feels like it's this thing that's outside of us. And then all of the energy of our body starts coming up, and you'll notice that
Yeah. Yeah.
and you're grasping, and then if you go back and watch the recording of this, all your physiology is like,
Up, 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 up. Yeah, I feel it
but
too.
what that it
Yeah.
takes you out of, it takes you two things. It takes you out of the actual energy of the container of the support. You were calling it the trunk, I call it the container, same thing.
Yes.
Like everything that we were talking about, right?
Uh-huh.
Takes you out of that because now
Yeah.
you're up here instead of in your roots and in your container. Okay. And number two, it somatically makes us feel insecure because we get into this high like feeling,
Like
and there's yeah, and like
top heavy.
somatically we're not
Yeah.
tethered. We're not
Right.
tethered.
Yeah,
Okay. And
absolutely.
and
Yeah.
that stokes the insecurity. Okay. So everything you want, Becca,
Mm-hmm.
you already have. Actually, I'm changing your energy exploration card. I'm
No,
changing
no.
it. Okay.
Okay.
How would I do this if I have everything I need?
Okay.
Try it.
Okay. Um Okay. To mind the wolf, to heed the witch, to honor the giant, to mind, to heed, to find, to think, to go to the festival into the woods, to the
Okay,
woods.
hold on. Come back, come back, come back.
Okay, okay, okay.
Who so I need even though it's like a review and you're not doing the whole show,
Uh-huh.
pick a character. Who are you right now? Are you Cinderella? Are you Rapunzel? Are you the witch? Who are
Uh,
you?
I'd sing the Cinderella at the end, so I'll do Cinderella.
Okay. So come back. Thinking
Okay.
about what she's experienced. She has her prince, but she's been through a lot. They fought a giant. Like she's come through a whole trial of fire, and she's still here.
Hmm.
She's one of the few, if I remember correctly, who doesn't get killed or eaten at the end, if I remember correctly. Is that right? Siri would know. Yeah, I think that's true. I don't know. But in any case, we're just, for our purposes now, we're just going to imagine that that's the case. Okay? So, like, when you feel that sensation, that's an ownership. I
Hmm.
have everything that I need. How would I say these words if everything that I need is already within me? She survived,
Hmm.
and so will you.
I will do. Okay.
Okay. So how does a person stand in your physiology who has that certainty? What's your superhero pose? Like what's your stance? Like who has that certainty? What is that? Yeah, there's no right answer. It's what makes you feel powerful.
Hmm.
Yes. I'm getting a totally different energy from you right now.
Hmm.
Where is the center of that energy for you in your body? Where does that live right now?
Uh, Probably in my heart.
Okay, heart center for you.
Hmm.
Okay, so heart center and take that energy and send it all the way through the rest of your body, all the way down. Okay, to
Okay.
have to find to da da da. Okay,
Okay. Okay. So to find, to teach, to think, to join, to go to the festival, into the world, into the world, into the words, and into the world, and happier I
yeah,
wish.
yes, 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 yes. Okay, what did that feel like to you?
Good. I think I got into the technical brain a little bit.
Yes,
Like,
when?
longer notes so that I could get the higher parts. I
Okay,
was like,
guess
reach,
what though?
reach, reach, reach.
No, no, you don't. No, you don't. No reaching. No
Yeah,
reaching. No
yeah, exactly,
reaching.
exactly. That is it.
Because here's the thing, you guys, her mind is playing tricks on her. Her mind is lying to her and telling her that what she's doing in that heart space, grounding down, is not enough. And it's convincing her that she needs to do something more that now
Uh-huh.
takes her body in the direction that does not serve what she wants, which is reach, right? What did
Hmm.
we learn on Tuesday? Down to go up. But I don't even want you to think in those technical terms.
Yeah.
If you're in that heart space energy, and if the longer you hold that note, I just want you to visualize that idea that everything I have is already inside me and I'm sending it through the rest of my body. Out of the woods! Just visualize that supernova heart energy traveling all the way down in your body. And if you're holding that note, the longer you hold it, the more you're visualizing sending that energy. Can you try that?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay. Um,
Just do that phrase. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
okay. Uh, the words, the words, the words, and not the words, and happy.
And you didn't even need to breathe. Did you notice that?
I know. Great.
You didn't even need to breathe before the happily ever after. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys, I could have gone for the technical route here. We could have talked about the flex and we could have talked about the pelvic floor and the ribs and whatever.
Yeah.
But that belief coming at it from the mindset side, it
Yeah.
helped her to activate and catalyze the technique that she already understands. It's like what Marilyn was talking about yesterday. You get it intellectually.
Uh-huh.
And the reason it's not showing up is not because your body can't do it. In some instances, there are singers who we need to teach their body how to do it. That's not your
Yeah.
issue.
Yeah.
It's being able to understand what are the things that are getting in the way. Number one was like the questions that were sabotaging you. What
Yeah.
if this? What if that? Right? And number two, which is like inherently, I don't have enough of this. I don't have breath. I don't have enough. All that
Yeah.
not enough thinking. So merely shifting that and
Hmm.
then asking her to understand how this lives in her body.
Yeah.
and being able to give her an experience of moving this through her body in a way that serves her because the belief is there. How would I do this if I had everything I need and I just get to stay in that? It got you what you needed. And your breath support was way better than when you were fixated on the breath support.
Hmm.
So, what's the distinction for you?
Well, I think that that's absolutely it because I think I get way in my head, and I had people telling me they're like, "Tell the story," and I'm like, "I know, I need to just. There's all these things I need to do, and my brain is going a million miles an hour, and it's just so hard to just sink into it, and stop the brain chatter and just let my body do what it knows how to do,
Yeah, but that's the
you know."
belief. What
Mhm.
stop this is what I want you to get, Becca, that what stops the brain chatter is choosing a global belief.
Yeah,
My body knows what to do.
yeah,
I have everything I need.
yeah.
That basta, finito. Like done. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Awesome. Really good, really good work.
yeah. Thank you.
Okay. I love that you were willing to just be vulnerable and play with me in that. That was really fantastic. Okay. So, Ash, is Nyla here?
Yes.
Yes, I am.
Hey. Okay. So, before we get to Nyla, and I cannot wait for you guys to meet her, I just want to make sure that you guys get the link for the homework. Okay. So Ash put it in the chat. So you're gonna get the energy exploration cards, which are these little mantras, like I was just saying, I get to be perfectly imperfect. These other things that you get to play with, there's instructions for how to play with them. Okay, so you can do that for tomorrow, and we'll talk about that tomorrow. So right now, I have invited a very special singer to share some of her experience and some of her nuggets of gold with us to talk to you today because she really knows what it's like to struggle within herself on her singing journey. And she has so many wonderful things to share about what's allowed her to have amazing breakthroughs and claim what's possible. She has been one of my very favorite singers to work with in our intensive training program. She's a grad of that program. She was in the original Broadway cast of Waitress. She just got off an equity tour of Hadestown. She's about to open her solo show this weekend at 54 Below. So if you're in New York, go see it. She tears it up at this what's the venue? It's 54 Below, the iconic cabaret venue in New York City. So she's opening that this weekend. Please welcome Nyla Watson. Nyla,
Hello, hello. Hey, y'all.
it's so good to see you. Oh,
It's
you're
so good to
blonde.
see
I
you.
haven't seen you since you.
Hey, okay, welcome. Okay, it's a new era. It's a new
It's
day.
yes, it is. It's awesome. So I would love if you could just
Mhm.
start by sharing with everyone what was going on for you with your voice, your energy, your singing before we worked together, before coming and doing the intensive program. Like, how are you feeling?
I think before we worked together, I felt like I was making decisions around my career from a place of fear, from a place of being limited or feeling as if I was limited. I was making decisions based on the things that I was being offered, right? I was making decisions based on the limitations that other people were putting on me. And I knew what I wanted. My vision was very clear, like what I saw for myself. But I think stepping into that, because there had been so much programming around what I was supposed to be or who I should have been or what other people who looked like me were doing, I felt limited in my abilities to be able to really kind of like break out of that shell and spread my wings a little bit. So that's where I was. That was my why for signing up, right? I think that when I saw your ad on Instagram or Facebook, I saw it on social media. When I saw your ad, you spoke directly to that. You spoke directly to feeling limited. You spoke directly to, have you hit a ceiling in your singing? Have you come to a place in your career where you feel like your resume looks exactly the same or you've been doing the same thing over and over again? And it did. It felt like I was in a cycle that couldn't be broken. And I didn't know what to do with that. So I signed up.
Yeah. And it's interesting because you had a lot of traditional training in the past. And you guys,
Yeah.
for our purposes, what I'm talking about when I say traditional training, it's like one-on-one in-person voice lessons, and I mean, how long had you trained that way?
I didn't start taking voice lessons until I was in college. Um, so I probably have been being formally trained now for about uh, 14 years, 15 years now.
Okay, so like you had a lot of that kind of traditional, what I might call old-fashioned training, right? And because as you guys know, like we don't work that way. And so I'm curious, what was it? Why were you willing to take the leap to train differently and explore differently?
I think for me, it was the intentionality around the mindset that accompanied your training, right? I think that it was more so about, because I always had teachers who were willing to listen to different sounds, listen to different genres that they weren't used to in order to train me well, right? But I think that I didn't have the training around accompanying the limiting beliefs that were also holding my voice back. So I think that was the part of your training that unlocked something different for me, that unlocked something different within my skill set, but also allowed me to take chances with my gift that I would not have taken without the mindset part. Like, what are these limitations that you have on your instrument, and how does that show up in your everyday life? I think that was a part of the training that I was missing from, education. Like, education can only do so much, and there's a curriculum, but this was more like, how do you walk through your life with the voice that you have? Right? How do you move through the world with the voice that you have? How do you move through your career with the instrument that you have? And I think
And
that
then how does that show up on stage or in an audition?
exactly in an audition for sure. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And during this week in this workshop, we've been talking a lot about limiting beliefs. So I'm really glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
Limiting beliefs and fears and excuses. I'd love it if you're cool to share what some of your biggest excuses, limiting beliefs were that were holding you back prior to doing this work.
I think that I still have some insecurities around the fact that I didn't grow up doing musical theater. I definitely had a lot of limiting beliefs around being the only one. There was a lot around loneliness in the work that I did with Judy, like a lot around being the only one, being the only one called, being the only one to be different, being the only one to move out of Cleveland, being the only one, you know what I'm saying, who looked like me, who wanted to play the roles that I wanted to play, the only one who, didn't sound like the traditional gospel girl. That's not necessarily where I fit, in this world. So being able to have the conversations around like my aesthetic versus my skill set, and being brave enough to say, this is what I want from the industry, and finding representation that mirrored that and was willing to go on that journey with me, and was willing to say no to things and take a chance on what I saw for myself. So there was a lot of limiting beliefs around loneliness, because I felt like I was the only one. I felt like I was the exception to the rules of this game, and I didn't know how to play it, being the exception to the rules, right? And so I think there was a lot of digging underneath, like, why do you feel like you're alone? Why do you feel like you're the only one? Do you see that you're a part of a community of people who are doing the same work that you're doing? How can we integrate this new identity into what's actually in front of you, and not allow you to walk in the lies that you've accepted around loneliness and being isolated, right? Because it was like success to me was synonymous with being lonely. They say it's lonely at the top. No, it's not lonely up there. Just may not be the people who you started with. It may not be your family members. It may not be the people that you choose, but there's some people at the top. And so being able to, again, integrate those realities into what I felt like was holding me back was like crucial. There were so many breakthroughs around that, around getting through. You're not going to be alone. You're not going to be by yourself, right? There are people who understand you, who are on this journey with you, who are able to help you and listen to you, and you can glean from them as well.
Because when you're in that place, how would you say that that had been really holding you back and being able to break through to the new management, which I know you got and which is now thriving? And like how did that shift into then what happened in the audition room when you were no longer in that place of victimhood, if we want to call it that?
I had to be brave enough to say no. I had to be brave enough to say no. I had to be brave enough to say what I want and not feel like I was harming myself or anyone by being honest about what I wanted from the industry, right? What I wanted from my own voice, what I wanted from my own excellence, right? Like there's a level that I wanted to live on when it came to my art. There was a level that I wanted to live on when it came to what I brought to the table as an actor. And a lot of it came with still that kind of head nod that turns to the side that casting directors do when they don't get it yet, right? But I had to be brave enough within myself to say, no, I actually want to play this role. No, I actually want to be seen this way. And I have a beautiful team of managers and agents that are like, okay, let's fight for that. Let's see where that leads us. And sometimes, listen, sometimes there is pushback. Sometimes you have to be
But there
honest
is
with yourself.
for all trailblazers out
Right.
there.
And sometimes you have to be honest with yourself about where you do fit in a certain cast of players, right? Like there are even exceptions to that rule. It's not a one size fits all. This is it. This is what I want, because there is a beautiful thing called perspective, right? That allows you to be able to look at a show and look at a cast and say, where do I actually realistically fit here? And sometimes it is the ensemble understudy, but sometimes it's not. And so I think you have to be honest with yourself about, where am I being pigeonholed and blocked? And this is just actually the best place for me in this group of people. And so I think both have to be toggled with and played with. And you kind of have to look at each circumstance or every audition that comes through as its own individual entity, right? Because I've also shot myself in the foot, by saying like, principal only. If the word ensemble comes through my email, and it's like, yeah, but if you're understanding somebody who's normally 25 years older than you, this is actually realistically the best role for you in this cast of people. So I just being able to look at each individual opportunity as its own opportunity, right? But also holding yourself to a standard. Both can happen at the same time.
And what I hear in this, and what I want you guys to hear in this as she's talking, is because we just were having a discussion about go to the data, not the drama. So remember
That's
we talk
good.
about that a
That's
lot, right?
good.
And
That's
so it's
good.
like, let me look at the data of each individual situation, and I'm not going to make meaning out of it. I'm just going to look at what is, and then I get to decide based on the standard that I'm holding and the data that I have, what is the best,
Yeah.
next step.
Right. What is the next right step? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's been difficult. It's been difficult. Like I did the Hadestown tour 2022 to 2023, got off Hadestown tour in October, and I said no to everything that came through my inbox. And I would say that this year probably would have been easier had I looked at every situation isolated, or said, hey, I'm gonna at least go through this year with a job. It might not be what I wanted, but it's what's here for me right now. But I didn't do that. I took a chance. I jumped. I leaped. And so I have been, it's been gigs, it's been concerts, it's been reestablishing myself and reintroducing myself to an industry by saying no. And it has paid off. There are things that are coming in my inbox now that are like, okay, they're starting to see me the way that I want to be seen because I said no. But there also have been weeks where I look at my bank account and I look at my bills and I'm like, what am I going to do? And I mean, I'm a Jesus girl. So God makes a way and he's a provider, right? And like the thing, it works out how it's supposed to work out. And I know that there could have been more ease and less anxiety had I been a little bit more flexible, right? So both are true.
But that's you guys hearing this, right? Like, but there's no truth. Both are true. And so let me get the data and see which truth serves me better for the moment that I'm in and the standard that I want to be. Do you
Yeah.
get that? I didn't say the standard that I want to have. I said the standard that I want to be, because
That's
it's in
good.
the beingness of all of this. And when
Yeah.
when you guys are listening to Nyla,
Mhm.
I want you to really reflect. Do you hear the unshakable beliefs, the global beliefs that we were just talking about showing up? And
Mhm.
this is why she's in having this moment. I
Yeah.
remember when we had a very like fraught conversation back when you were finishing Hadestown, because you were
Mhm.
like, I want to be back in New York. I don't want to go
Mhm.
back to Cleveland. I don't. And then I saw you
Mhm.
celebrate on Facebook a couple months ago. I got my apartment. I'm back in New York. Like,
Mhm.
but it's understanding, you guys, it's getting very clear in who you are being,
Yeah.
and that the actions then flow from that. And that is why Nyla's getting now the things in her inbox, the things that are principled, the things that are, like doing the solo show that she's doing
Yeah.
now, because it's who she is being,
Mhm.
not what she is doing. The doing flows from the being. And she made
Absolutely.
and so can you talk about what are some of the biggest sort of shifts, wins that you can, that have made the most uh uh sense to you, in allowing you to hold this vision for yourself and not get sucked back into the fear that could have taken you back to something that you didn't want to do?
I think I had to give myself permission to love it, independent of a role, independent of an audition, independent of, who was in my inbox or liking my stuff on Instagram or whatever. I remember a girl who would, the concert that I'm doing on Sunday in New York is an ode to Audra McDonald. She's a very prominent musical theater performer. She's one of the most, she is the most decorated music theater performer in our industry. She happens to be a Black woman, and she is the voice that gave me permission to be who I am. I can remember being little Nyla at, 20 years old, 21 years old, watching her videos in my college dorm room. Like, how does somebody even make those sounds? How does somebody, embody a character so openly, so willingly, so unabashedly? I can remember, Googling her and admiring the sounds that she would make, the songs that she would sing. She's a Sondheim girl, the complicated music that she would tackle with seemingly ease, right? And again, playing roles that sometimes Black skin was only on stage because she was playing the role, right? And being able to look at these accomplishments, look at these Tony Awards, look at these accolades and dream about it. And I just loved the art. And it's so easy to get caught up in the business, how much money you're making, how much money you're not making, who's paying attention to you, who's not paying attention to you. And God had to humble me and say, where's the girl who just loved it? And when I open my mouth to sing from a place of loving the art, the sounds are so much more beautiful, so much more lush, so much more full, right? There's so much more. Just like when you were talking to Becca, who was just singing, can we just think about the intention? Can we just think about the person on the other side of the room whose life is going to be changed because you're making these sounds? And can we dismiss all this other stuff, right? You know what I mean? Like, if we're just focusing on intention, how much more is available inside of your body and your mind and your will if you give your love to the thing? The breath, the technique, all of that stuff is going to come as you continue to work with Arden. She ain't going to let the technique fall by the wayside. Believe me, she's going to get you together. And she's going to challenge you. Where's your mindset? And that's what I had to be challenged on. Where's your mindset? It's who bought a ticket, who didn't buy a ticket. Okay, great. What about if you just do it from a place of love?
Mhm.
What about
I
if you just go back to the foundation of why you chose to do this art from this place? You
I
know?
have a very specific memory of you being in studio class. I don't remember what you were singing. I do remember what you were wearing, however. It was like a leopard print or like a cheetah print kind of dress or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But we were working on high chest voice. You guys know I don't like to call it belting. We were working on high chest voice in whatever this was.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the first time I remember you had this experience where I was like, Nyla, go to story, where you were
Yeah.
micromanaging technique and you were trying to, because it was exactly like what I was talking to Becca about. She understands it intellectually. It's not that it's not in her intellectual understanding, right? And I remember we had this moment. God, I wish I could remember what you were singing.
I think I was
And
saying being good.
yes, 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 yes. Okay, wait. Do you remember that class when it like
I
felt
was in
okay?
Toronto with Hadestown. Yeah, I think
Okay,
I was
you tell
singing
the
being
then you
good.
tell the story. You tell
Yeah,
the
yeah,
story.
yeah. I
Like,
was in Toronto with Hadestown, working on being good, from Hallelujah Baby. Y'all probably know it because Barbara Streisand made the song famous, but it's from a musical called Hallelujah Baby. Leslie Uggams was the original Georgina, and I was singing being good, and I was just trying to sound perfect. I was just trying to sound perfect. I was trying to manipulate the things and hit the notes and lift the and you were like, lyric, story, intention. Like you broke down the barriers of my own mind and my own perfectionism, right? And again, you brought it back to, why is this character singing? Why does this character right now need to sing these words at this time? You know? And I do musical theater, but when you go to a voice class, and like you said, when you're used to formal training, sometimes you come in trying to turn the right, knobs, right? Or hit the
right,
right
it's all
bells and
the
whistles.
micromanaging and the
Yeah,
micro tracking and all that.
micromanaging. I was trying to micromanage my instrument and sound to sound perfect, but the excellence came when I leaned into the intention.
Hmm. And it's so cool, you guys. Like Nyla has had these moments, and those of you who are in the program here, so Amy, Siri, others of you,
Yes.
Tyvee, you're gonna have these moments. Tyvee, who just enrolled, where you recognize that you can trust the instincts of your
That's it.
not doing.
That's
The
it.
impact comes, the big impact comes when you go beyond what feels uncomfortable, because your monkey mind, your inner critic mind is trying to tell you that you have to micromanage all the dials and it's
Yes.
not going to work if you don't do that. And the reason that we do all the mindset work that we do, the thought exercises, the meditations, all that, is so that in that moment that trust shows up. And so you can let go of the metaphoric wheels, so to speak, of all of that, like white
Yes.
knuckling to make it perfect and good and whatever.
That's it.
And then you recognize that the sound and the impact you get is so far greater than what
Yeah.
you could have controlled into being.
That's it. It's so crazy that you say the word white knuckling, because my therapist recommended a book called Try Softer. And it talks a lot about that, like the difference between, allowing and white knuckling to get to where you think you need to be. And that's what I had to learn with my instrument, especially with the sounds that I want to make, right? The dynamic sounds that are available to me. A lot of times it's from, how kind can I be to my instrument, right? Can I try softer? And it's not try less, right? It's not lesser effort, but it is a different approach to your trying that is not a white knuckling or a
Right.
micromanaging or an overcompensating. And also, really, what it is you have to break out of the need to try to impress other people in class. You have to break out of the mindset that I need these people to think that I'm good, versus I need to glean the necessary information for me to be able to leave this place and be different. Be different. I want to be a different human being when I leave here. So what does that mindset shift do? If I'm not thinking about impressing the Zoom room, and I'm thinking about leaving the Zoom room as a different human being, as a better performer, as a more integrated artist. And I think that's what I was able to get from a lot of that work.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing this. I know you are a busy lady. You've got an opening this weekend. So if you guys are
Yes.
in New York, go see Nyla at Studio 54. If you want to drop a link, like go
Yeah, so
ahead.
I'll tell you guys, you can follow me on Instagram at brand new Nyla. My name is spelled Nyla. You can see it at the bottom left of my screen. And like all of the information is there. If you click on the links in my bio, it's very, very simple. We have a live stream option if you're not in New York, and it's only $25. So like, get on that. I think it's really going to be a time. It's really going to be super special. And I wanted again, talking about being a different kind of artist. I wanted my first concert in New York to be a thank you to the voice who gave me permission, right? And so I hope that you guys take advantage of that and come and see about me. Brand new Nyla on Instagram. Everything is there. Thank you, Arden. Thank you guys so
Yeah, you're
much.
so welcome. You guys, when I tell you, you will not be disappointed. This woman knows how to bring it. I mean, she's a super talent, and with all of this beingness and awareness, and you can hear her certainty. Like, I want you to go see what this creates. So
Yeah,
really go to her show and go see what this creates, because
yeah.
it's astounding what can happen when you understand that it's not about the doing, it's about the
That's right.
being.
That's
And the
right.
sound that you get when you are being that is like eons away, and the impact is eons greater. And that's how you move the needle. So thank
That's
you for
right.
sharing that, Nyla, and for
Thank
being
you.
here. I really appreciate it. For spending this time with us. And to all of you guys who were watching today, who've been here every single day, I hope that you got so much from this, whatever you could glean from her share, and so much more out of the session today. And I also want to share now a little more about the opportunity to train with us in the intensive program if you're interested in that. Now, first of all, if you feel that you have gotten everything you have needed from our sessions and you're ready to like go out into the world with this new technique, like a house on fire, with your new mindset, and crush it at a higher level of success in your performances, your auditions, your recordings, and you're like so confident moving forward, there's no point to stick with us any further today. I appreciate you. I value your time. And so if you don't need anything more, go rock this. No need to stay in the Zoom. Go rock your tools. But if you do feel like, although you're super fired up about the shifts that you're experiencing and the information and the insight that you've gained from what we've done so far, but you feel like you really could use some targeted support, and you don't want to have to wing it on your own or figure it out the hard way. You want a blueprint to follow. You want a proven system that's already vetted for you to get from A to Z in your singing. And you want to really skip over all of that very frustrating trial and error. What method, what technique, what practice, like skip over all the guesswork, all of that super expensive testing, by the way, that I did, trying out all the different modalities to figure out what works and what doesn't work. Then I can just give it to you, and not just walk you through the foundational method, but also show you how to implement it in your body. Give you the support, the accessibility, the reinforcement of eyes and ears on you regularly to make sure that you are implementing these strategies correctly in your skill set, in your mindset, in your body. No more second guessing or continuing to practice in bad habits without realizing it. And being able to mirror back to you all the ways that you're getting in your own way that you don't even see that affect the impact that you're making or not making. And so if you feel like you could use targeted support, then stick with me here, because I want to walk you through how to get faster results. And it's an opportunity that I can give you to help you take all the work that we just started together here and bring it full circle and get those results that you want and need in your singing long term. And so you can work the tools on your own, or I want to invite you to consider option number 2, which is work with us in our intensive training program. This is the program that Nyla went through. This is the program that Jules, who you heard yesterday, went through. It's our flagship all-in-one holistic training program where you get the foundation for technical mastery, for finding and unleashing your unique artistry, and a blueprint for mastering your mindset. And so these are the 3 pillars that we set with you so that you can soar to the top of your potential and rise above the crowd for the experience, the career that you really want. And so here's specifically how we deliver that. You have me and my team working with you individually and looking at your technique every which way and coaching that within the context of your mindset and your artistry. And we do it in 3 group classes a week, and we keep the group nice and small. We never have more than like 10 or 12 singers in the program at any time, because it's a lot of individual attention. And so you get up and you sing in class, and you come up against an edge and you have a breakthrough, and your colleagues are watching, and then they get up and one of them has a breakthrough on something, and you're watching and you're going, oh my gosh, I do that, and I didn't even realize I was doing that. And so you've now had a breakthrough on something that never would have come to light in the old-fashioned one-on-one way of traditional training. So it's a huge reason that our singers get the results that they do in such a short period of time. And another reason is that you have your own one-on-one mindset coach who will also work with you. So you're getting a lot of individual attention. You don't just get the benefit of my individual coaching with you, or Judy, who is our expert mindset coach, her individual coaching with you. You're also getting the benefit of our coaching with every other singer in there. So you get answers to questions that you didn't even know you had, and you get breakthroughs on the things that you didn't even realize were problems. And so to that end, like I was saying, you will also have your own dedicated mindset coach to help you understand the thinking going on behind the singing, and to also support you if you get overwhelmed or scared or stuck or any random thing comes up you need support with. We go above and beyond what any other training program is willing to do. And that's why we have the best results and the happiest singers, the most joyful singers. In case you didn't notice, Nyla, Jules are like absolutely in love with the journey that they're on. So as far as how we do this, to build you this foundation and to get you everything you need, we'll be working together for 4 months. So it's an initial 4-month training container. And what's cool is that everything is customized to you. So once you enroll, the first thing that happens is you're connected with your one-on-one mindset coach to work with you. You have an intake call with her. On that call, she maps out your exact game plan for the next 4 months. So exactly how to go through the program. Use all of the support to get the most out of it. The parts that we'll be doing with you, the parts that you are responsible for, and everything else. So we leave no stone unturned. We really make sure you have everything you need to get the transformation. So she walks you through all of that on your welcome call. Make sure you get access to everything that you need. You get access to the first week of trainings right away. So we have a members area. You get a login, and that's where our modules are. And each module contains trainings, and you get a new module each week. And in each module, you have technique trainings, you have mindset trainings, you have artistic inquiries, and you're doing that module work on your own. And it's like 45 minutes to maybe an hour a day max, and you can fit that into your day, whenever you need. You could do 15 minutes of your technique training and then do your 20-minute mindset later on in the day, and so that's how you're engaging with the new tools and the new techniques and concepts. And then you come into class several times a week, and you have our eyes and ears on you, making sure that you're implementing that correctly in your body and your mind in the moment of singing. Okay, so you start coming to studio class twice a week. You get access to the first week of trainings. Your mindset coach will set up that one-on-one, answer your questions, make sure you have everything you need. And you're going to realize so quickly how supported you are, that this is exactly what you need. It's exactly what you've been looking for, because you are not going to have to wonder anymore what you don't know that you don't know. And that's why our singers get better results in a shorter period of time than any other coaching method that I know. So I'm giving a huge tuition discount, $2,000 tuition discount from now until Sunday to any of you guys from this workshop who want to come and do the program. So if you wanted to do monthly payments, it's just $18.97 a month for 4 months. Or if you want to save an extra $1,000, we give an extra $1,000 discount to those who want to do a pay in full. So it would be just $7K to do the pay in full. And that's available to you guys through the end of this workshop, through Sunday night. And we also have a scholarship. As you know, if you've been with us every day of the workshop and you haven't missed a single day, you'll be eligible to enter and throw your hat into the ring for a scholarship contest to win partial tuition scholarship for the intensive training program. So I will talk more about that on Saturday. You'll only be considered, though, if you've been to every session this week. And by the way, we can see who's here. We can tell. So keep showing up. All right. So if you want to learn more details about the intensive training program, Ashley will put a link into the chat. Maybe Shirley did it. Otherwise, she'll pop it in again. This is what breaks down, all the information, also the ways you can break down different tuition options. So Ashley will put that into the chat. There it is. And if you don't end up getting the scholarship on Sunday, do not worry. We have really great flexible payment options, which are detailed also on that page. We have payment plans with financing. We have PayPal, pay later. There's also, I was just talking to somebody about this morning, 0% interest credit card. Like if you can qualify, there's credit cards out there like Wells Fargo does this, Chase does this, 0% interest on all new purchases for 18 months, 24 months, whatever their particular offer is. So that's like a no-brainer, right? Because if you can qualify for a card like that, you just slap the 7K pay in full and you have 21 months, no interest with that card to pay it off. So like getting creative. I really want to empower you guys. Like, there's always a way for the committed, right? Like, I don't have the money. I don't care if you guys have $1 million or $0 in the bank. All I care about is how willing are you to get resourceful to have the voice in the life that you want. And if you hold that vision for yourself, you guys, I'm going to invite you to borrow my belief. It's just money. I can always go out and find more. Get a 0% interest credit card, do the PayPal financing, ask somebody who loves you and is willing to invest in you to borrow or lend or whatever, the investment, so that you can change your voice, change your career, and change your life. So I'm inviting you to be all in. If you want significant changes in your singing and your life, and that's a hard thing to do, guys. It is not the norm. It is not what most people do. But I'm inviting you to not be most people. I'm inviting you to go all in because I know what you want to be, who you want to be, artistically, vocally, personally. 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. So that's the invitation and the commitment that we have here, so that you stop settling, so that you stop playing small, so that you stop hitting that ceiling, and you have a team to guide you to the best results in the shortest period of time. So if you would like to book a short discovery call with me to talk more specifically and find out if the intensive training program is a good fit for you, if it's going to meet your needs, meet your specific singing goals, then book a call with me. Get on my calendar. Ash will put that link to book a call with me in the chat. It's not a coaching call. It's just a discovery call to see if what we've gone over is going to be a good fit for you to move forward and meet your goals. If you have any lingering questions that you want to ask and you're considering and you just want to talk, parse it out, whether it's a timing issue, you have job stuff, travel, whatever it is, if it's financing, whatever, get on my calendar and let's talk it out, and we'll decide together if this is a good fit for you. Tomorrow, guys, we're going to talk all about finding your sound, finding your unique sound, and making a song your own. And I'm going to give you a step-by-step process to tap into your own unique artistry in a song and learn how to be more than just a good parrot. Okay, so how to access your authenticity and your unique sound to really make audiences want to keep coming back for more. So that's tomorrow. Don't miss it. Play with your energy cards tonight. And let me just share my screen really quickly to show you how these work. So where'd they go? Oh my God, I just had them here. Hang on. I got to go back. Sorry, guys. Sometimes I am a little bit of a tech tard. Okay, I found it. Here we go. So these are the energy exploration cards. You see it? So what this is you're going to cut these along the line. And so you're going to have strips. And each strip is going to say something different that will help you shift into a different kind of energy. I choose courage over comfort. I am a brave, bold, badass person, and I am ready to make waves. I am brave and bold in my pursuit of my best life. I take ownership over my life and take action on my dreams. I am a unique and creative person of source energy itself, right? So they go on and there's more. Here's the one I initially gave to Becca. I get to be perfectly imperfect. And so there's a whole bunch of these here, okay? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna cut along the lines, each little mantra there, and you're gonna fold them. And you can just put them in a bowl or put them in a hat or whatever. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna find a song that you have been, feeling sticky about, the same way that Becca was. And you're gonna pick one of these. And you're going to turn it into the question, which is, how would I sing this if? And then you open it up. Oh, how would I sing this if I choose courage over comfort? I don't know. Let me see. Let me get curious. And then you're going to play with that song with how you approach your technique, how you approach your body, how you approach your storytelling if you choose courage over comfort. And it's a really great way to just give yourself permission to explore different energies that are going to hook you into different aspects of yourself and create more certainty, create more fun, create more experimentation with the things that are otherwise giving you trouble. Because again, as we were saying when Nyla and I were talking, if we're approaching the action with the same beingness each time, then the result of the action is going to be the same each time. So these cards are going to help you step into a different emotional home, a different beingness so that when you approach the song from that state, you'll see what happens. And some of these will resonate more with you than others. Some of them will get a great, outcome. Some of them won't connect as much with you, and that's okay. They're called exploration cards because that's exactly what it is. It's just an exploration. So, excuse me. So that, sorry. That's what the homework is for tonight, is to play with your energy exploration cards. And again, if you want to learn more about the details of the intensive training program, or if you want to enroll, there's that link again in the chat, as well as the link to book a discovery call with me if you have some lingering questions. If training with us feels aligned for you, get in before the $2,000 discount ends on Sunday. Okay, guys, tomorrow we are going to be doing a whole day on finding your unique sound, so don't miss it. And I will see you then. Bye, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. Oh, I see. Steve, did you have a question? I missed that. Did you have your hand up? Did you have something you wanted to ask?
Yeah, last night I had the question and you said you'd answer it today. Thank you.
Yeah.
I didn't know what the mental there was, I think that was the word. There was there was the exercise, the sail and the anchor, but there was also something mental.
The mindset. It's on the same homework page. So
I didn't know. I didn't see the homework page. Was there an email?
So the homework, we give the links here in the chat, and then it's also, if you're in the Facebook group, and you can comment for the homework. But if you go into the, if you can, like, Ashley, can you DM Steve the homework links from the last 3 nights so that he has them? And so, like, tonight, or while we've been in the session, Ashley dropped the homework link into the chat here. So you want to copy that. And on that landing page for the homework, I'm just going back into the chat so I can grab it. I gave it, there we go. Okay, homework. I'm going to share my screen so you can see this. Okay, hold on. So here. So this is what the homework page looks like. And like right now, there's only one thing. And so for the day that had both the technique training and a mindset training, there would be like another section under here. So they're both on the same page. So you might have
I've got it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, cool. Okay. All right. Sorry, I didn't want to miss you. I was like, oh my God, Steve has his hand up.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. Have fun with your energy exploration cards, and I'll see you tomorrow. I can't wait to see how it goes. Bye, guys.